everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to do the 20 questions book tag. So I've been tagged in this multiple times, and I have not done it for whatever reason because it is such a fun tag. So I can't find the original creator, but I will leave the questions down below, and let's just get into it. So the first question is, how many books is too many books in a series? And I don't know. I mean, so at a certain point, I think a series becomes just companions. Like for a series to be like a follow along series, I think it needs to be like 3, maybe. But for it to be companions, I don't really care because you can call it a series or you don't have to, but it's just companion books. So I would say 3, I guess, if you're going to be like a follow along series. Number 2 is, how do you feel about cliffhangers? So I like them. I mean, I like them as long as what is told in the book that you read is a complete story and it's like a cliffhanger for more. Like, I hate reading a book that then it's like, why did I just read 300 pages to get nothing? So if I feel like I got most of the story and then like the cliffhanger will tell me more, I like it. But if it leaves me hanging where I don't feel like I got a complete story, then I don't like it. Hardcover or paperback? I much prefer paperback, but I mean, you do what you gotta do. I'll read either. Favorite book? How do you answer that? Like, I have no idea. I mean, if you were to narrow it down to genre, maybe, but favorite book, I feel like I can't even answer that. I guess I could say the Bible. There you go. That's my answer, the Bible. Number 5, my least favorite book. I also don't know about that. Like, especially lately, I've gotten way better at DNFing books, but anything that is like either really harmful to a certain population, I don't like. Anything that's super dark or like really, like, I don't really like erotic books or anything that's like really out there is not my thing. So I don't have a specific book, but those are kind of what I avoid. Love triangles, yes or no? I think if there is a good reason for it, yes. And if it's like an emotional love triangle, yes. But if he or she is like messing around with multiple people, it's really hard for me to get behind that. Number 7, the most recent book you just couldn't finish. I just said I've been getting better about DNFing, and yet I can't think of one. I did not prepare for this video, as you can tell. My most recent DNF. Let's see what Goodreads says. Do 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 do. Okay, Lolita. I got that last year in my my Christmas surprise Advent books from my mom, and I could not read that. It was gross, and it didn't keep my interest, and I read reviews, and it didn't seem like it got any better, so Lolita. A book you're currently reading. I'm currently reading You Got Anything Stronger, I think is what it's called. I'll put up a picture, by Gabrielle Union. This is her second memoir, and I'm really loving it. It's about her like struggles with fertility, and they used a surrogate to have a baby, and her relationship with Dwayne Wade, and her just life as like a working mom. And I find it really relatable, really funny, and I'm really liking it. The last book you recommended to somebody. Gosh, I feel like I recommend books all the time. The Dream Daughter is one that I recommend. Like, if I talk to anybody who is even remotely a reader, I recommend The Dream Daughter by Diane Chamberlain. So I'm sure I've had a conversation about that lately. Yeah, that's my answer. The oldest book you've read by publication date. So I did just look at this on Goodreads, and it's Little Women. I had no idea it was published in 1868. I mean, of course I could say the Bible again, but like Little Women is that old, and like Anne of Green Gables is that old. I mean, it's the early 1900s, but I had no idea. So that is the oldest book I've read. The newest book I've read by publication date. Right now I'm in the middle of like a NetGalley binge because I clicked away and got a ton of new releases. So by the time you see this, I think I'm filming it on a Saturday, and I think you'll see it later in the week. So I don't know what the newest will be, but if you check out my May TBR, it's got 1,001 NetGalley books. So one of those. My favorite author, again, I don't know how you do that, but Diane Chamberlain, Taylor Jenkins Reid, Brittany C. Cherry, Sherry LaPena, B.A. Paris. Gosh, I have so many. I could go on and on and on. Renee Carlino, love her. Tracy Garvis Graves. There's a lot. Buying books or borrowing books. I do both. I prefer to borrow books from the library, especially if I'm like testing it out to see if I like it, and then I'll buy it, because I also find a lot of comfort in having like full shelves, because especially, and like COVID made this worse. COVID made my book buying worse, because when libraries are shut down and stuff, what are you supposed to do? And so I find comfort in owning some books, and like ones that I'm going to reread. I really like owning those. So both, but I would say I more frequently borrow, and I always buy used. The only new books I ever buy are Book of the Month. Otherwise, I can't remember the last time I bought a new book. A book you dislike that everyone else seems to love. That would be Water for Elephants. I hated this book. I hated it. And like, I physically read it, and I slogged through it. I physically read it probably 6 or 7 years ago, and at that time I was not DNFing anything. At this point, I probably would have DNF'd it because I just did not like it. Bookmarks or dog ears. So parenting has made me a dog earer, because my bookmarks always get pulled out by little fingers. And so now I dog ear, and I mean, as you can tell by my bookshelves, I really like, kind of eclectic, well-loved looking books. And I don't mind, like, I want to clean these up a little, but I don't mind that they're all different sizes, kind of go in different ways. I don't mind that. And like, I love when I pick up a book that feels well-loved, which is also why I love used books. So I don't mind dog earing. I just almost always used to use a bookmark, because I have so many bookmarks that I love, and I love like matching them. And yeah, so I like bookmarks, but having kids has made me dog ear. A book you can always reread. So, gosh, again, really anything by any of those favorite authors that I said, but one that I reread all the time is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So this is one of her backlist books, and it's about a couple who is kind of struggling, and they decide to take a year apart, and they don't get divorced, but they just decide no contact for a year. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, if your relationship is at a good spot, it makes you just like be so much more grateful for the person that you are with. And if your relationship's in a bad spot, it kind of lets you like put yourself in those shoes and see like, would you miss them or would you be better off? You know, like it really helps you think that through. And I've read it at multiple points when my relationship is both good and bad, and I have felt all those feelings. Every time I reread it, I feel all those feelings. So I would say that one. Can you read while hearing music? Yes. I used to especially love to like read and watch a football game, or like read and have sports on, or like Jeremy would watch a movie or something and I would be reading. I used to love that. And same with music, like whatever. I just love background noise. And in college and stuff, my favorite thing to do would be to go to a coffee shop and do homework or read or whatever, because like I just thrive on that background noise. But now as a parent, it has changed a little bit, because I feel like I can't, like I have to tune into every sound around me, because it could be my kid needing something or being hurt or something. So less so now. Now I really like ASMR rooms and things like that are like more classical music, or something where it's like, there's no words and there's no sounds that could be my children, if that makes sense. So yes and no. One POV or multiple POVs. I like multiple POVs. Now, I like maybe 2, maybe 3. I don't like a ton. However, that's not true, because like the one by John Mars has 5 and it keeps flipping back and forth, and I really like that. So if it's done well, I can take a lot, but I overall really like 2 or 3. Just because I feel like I get like immersed in one story, and then I get immersed in the other and want to go back to the other. And like, it just keeps me reading a little bit quicker. Do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? That's a joke. It is multiple days for sure. If not multiple days, multiple sittings. The only time I read it in a day is if it's short and on audio, and like a weekend where I'm like doing a lot of cleaning or something like that. Otherwise, it's definitely multiple sittings, multiple days. And then the last one is number 20, who do you tag? And if you have not done this tag, I tag you, because I love all these questions. Like I said, they're really fun and they require like no prep. So if you're a booktuber, do this. And if you're not, let me know in the comments down below what your answers are. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you in the next one.